Net. I missed you. Now it's been a while. At least it feels like a while because, like, for the past 3 days I've been lost in. Oh, hold on, sorry. Volume, volume. Okay. Yeah, for the last 3 days I've been like lost in the Vermont wilderness, um, having fun, but totally detached from like data. It was a strange experience. Uh, so yeah, it's good to be back. It's weird to kind of get back to what had been like the regular schedule for last week, at least, and so this is literally the first time I'm touching the project since last Thursday. But if I recall, we left the project in a fairly good state. So um, yeah, I think we today should be interesting actually because like right at the end of the day Thursday, I was just like musing about like when we were getting when the modifier system was like up and running and like actually working, such to the point that I was like, happy coming to a stopping point. I started thinking about like what's next, and I mean, I still don't know what the third power is supposed to be, so I just like off the cuff was just like kind of talking through ideas for like the actual like objectives of the game, like like what and why are we here? Uh, what are we like? What's the so? I mean, I'm calling the game Hero, so like presumably he is a hero of something, or he or she is a hero of something, and like, um, yeah, I guess like one big next step is to pretty major step is to get that actually happening. Like, actually, I'm just gonna run the simulation now, and I mean, as we have it, there's like a lot going on. It's just it's a little bit. Well, there's not a lot going on yet. Okay, now that the game is actually running, there's a fair amount going on in terms of like we now have like powers that we can use. The powers have cooldowns now, so it's not as it's not as like frantic and crazy anymore, which is we don't have an indicator of cooldown on powers. So that's actually one thing we want to do before we make any other like super radical changes. But we have bombs working, we have dash working, we have these modifiers working. Although potions still don't do anything because I still don't know what potions are supposed to do. So I haven't figured that out yet. Wow, dash is a really long cooldown. There it goes. Okay. Yeah. So the game is a bit more speed. Good. Shorten that cooldown. Yeah, no cooldown for dash. Much less cooldown for dash. Yeah, there we go. That's something. 3 triple dash, quadruple dash now. All right, so um, yeah, look at that. Awesome dash. Huh? Dash feels a little bit slow. Maybe just because I haven't seen it in a while. I could probably crank up the speed a little bit though, because I don't know. That felt like I don't know. I'm not 100% about that. I mean, all of this needs a whole lot of tuning, so uh, that'll be one thing that I want to do, but I probably won't get started with until we have the third power. Right now, the name of the broadcast today is the quest for Power 3, because I'm really hoping to like. And maybe this is silly. Maybe it's silly to just hope for inspiration on Power 3. Maybe I mean like sometimes in my spare it's not nearly as interesting, but sometimes in my spare time I'll just like think. I'll just have like a little bit of a like brainstorm, just trying to come up with what on earth Power 3 is supposed to be, because I don't want to balance the game knowing full well that I'm going to have to like completely rebalance it and probably change a lot of things too once I come up with Power 3. So yeah, we're putting that off. But yeah, like having like objectives in the game, having like something to do in the game, having like like some sort of like purpose would be nice. I think. I don't know. I assume that'll be a fairly important. That'll prove to be a fairly important feature down the line. So, all right. Excuse me for just one moment. I'm gonna post to social media. Do. Yep. Don't mind me. Yeah. Alright. I think that should be good. And now I'll stop. Oh, that's weird. It came out in a different order than I expected. I don't know what that's about, but I won't worry about it. Yeah, so, sorry about that. Twitch doesn't put the broadcast announcement up until the stream is live, and I can't retweet it until it's up. So I get to do that live. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Right, how do I usually have this set up? I'll just close that stuff, because that's just going to be a distraction if I leave it up. And then, this is probably pretty good. I'm just procrastinating. Right, no, but okay. I mean, like, I have an idea for what to do. You know what, this cooldown thing is going to irk me, so I know I said we were going to do something grand right off the bat, and, like, implement this, like, critical feature, but you know what, good UI is pretty critical too, so yeah, we're probably going to do that. And how are we going to do that? I'm thinking, like, we want it to be, like, clearly dimmed out in some way, so we could, I mean, we're still working with just temp art, so it doesn't have to look good, like, at all. You might have noticed I'm not holding anything in the project to that standard just yet. But what? So yeah, I'm probably just gonna use these slightly shadowy. Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd use. Oh, well. I don't know. Yeah, we can use. I mean, once we have a power in the tray, we don't really need those, like, shadowy backdrop things anymore, so we can co-op them, I guess. I mean, we're keeping track of them anyways for the purpose of disabling them, so yeah. What? I mean, we're also using their position for keeping for dragging and dropping the powers onto the tray, so well then, we could just do the same thing for positions that we had been doing with the other positions in the UI. So we can just kind of, like, transcribe those positions to be just kept as they are important positions to know about, and then yeah, just I don't know. Then we'll have the freedom to move those things around. Specifically, well, yeah. So for one thing, I'm thinking we'll want to move this entire backset UI, the lower UI, which is backset. We'll want to move it back even further, because we'll want to put the gray slide things, like the gray circle-y things. I was gonna say we'll want to put them slightly in front, so that way they're visible over Sorry, I had not been thinking about this aspect. Oh, why is the simulation running really slow? Oh, my computer's going into low power mode, sorry. Just one moment. Alright. Yeah, my computer does a super cool thing where it just doesn't pay attention to the power settings that I ask of it, and so instead it's just like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what its problem is. Yeah, I'd forgotten about this. I remember thinking about the cooldowns on Thursday, but I hadn't kept in mind to actually do something about it today. So and so now, yeah. So then, like, what should it look like? I guess for the sake of simplicity, I might just make the buttons smaller while they're cooling down. I would kind of like to give like a little bit of like a progress indicator. Oh, sorry. The UI setup down here is just slightly precarious, so I don't want to start actually like moving stuff around until I know what I'm moving around and why and to where. So the things I know, so I kind of I was thinking of playing with size in order to indicate that it's not ready to be used. So I was thinking like you press it and then it shrinks down, and then not until it like gets big again. Is it usable? And like maybe it could grow gradually over the course of the cooldown. Although I don't want these buttons. I still want these buttons to take up their full real estate, because I don't want the user to really get in the habit of using like this space for navigation. Like you can, if you click between the buttons, you can actually like move around that way. Whoops, I dashed. But I don't think that's necessarily a good thing to encourage. So I don't want it to look like this space is usable in terms of moving around, like traversal. Although like with the, like as just a slight aside, like for the ease of accidentally clicking these buttons when you're trying to use the space, I might want to shift the hero slightly closer to center screen, so that way, this is like the space like below the hero is where you would click in order to turn around, and that's fairly important. So we'll want to make sure there's at least enough space here that the users can turn around without accidentally misfiring their abilities. And then just on the, and maybe I should start taking a list of things that I know I want to do. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I did actually even technically start that list. I just don't use it much. It's just an empty list. Oh no, I did a thing. Right. So I moved something over to down. Alright. This is my backlog. Hold on. No, I don't know. It's just a spreadsheet. But so what haven't I started? Oh yeah. Like hypothetically, if you multi-dash and then you've picked up all your targets, if you pick up all your targets early, you might just dash off into oblivion, which I don't think is necessarily desirable. So I think actually I might just want to change. I don't know what is the right change there. I feel like the easy fix would probably just be if we've dashed towards a specific target, like a mob target, and then we don't find another mob target, then maybe just stop dashing there and just apply the full impact there. Although, I don't know. Sometimes if you just takes... Oh no, it's probably... No, I know what it is. It's to... If you don't find any mobs in the range of like one more dash, and you have more dashes than that, look in the extended range. So I'll probably have to broaden the table that I'm using for searches, because like it's currently at 16, and it'd be really easy to multi-dash further than like a distance of 16 units. So yeah, let's put that here too. So extend scan table, and oh, it's this for Project Hero, which I guess I'm using the first column for. I don't know. Organization. Extend scan table and multi-dash. I don't know. So multi-dash. Extended range. Yeah, I guess multi-dash extended range scanning are the two things that I know I probably need to do. I would add I'd add the cooldown thing here, but I am probably gonna do that now. So let's do that now. And now we have a reminder to go back and do these other things at some point. So cool. So, man, I miss the old simulation. I mean, I miss the simulation before there were rules, because like then everything was crazy like all the time, and it was just fun to watch. I should have like a cheat to get back into that mode, because like this is I don't know, this is much more demure now that there are restrictions and things don't just go flying everywhere all the time. I think that's part of why it's hard not to have those cooldowns, because the cooldowns, or like not to have a visual representation of the cooldowns, because it used to be that you just mash these buttons for days, which was like the number one thing I did. No, it's probably good that I can't do that anymore, because I spent too much time doing that. Right, so yeah, so to set up, okay, clearly we have to change the UI setup here somehow, and I guess for starters, I'm thinking maybe we will go with like the shrinking buttons thing. Maybe when you activate it, it shrinks down to like 20% of its size, and then it slowly grows up to 80% of its size, and then once it hits 80%, it clicks back to usable, or maybe like 90%. It'll click back to like full size to indicate that it's usable again. I want it to have that click at the end, because pow3 hypothetically will take a long time to recharge, so there needs to be a clear difference between like when it's nearly done recharging and when it's done recharging, because that's a critical distinction for the player. So yeah, again, I don't know if this is going to be like the correct final answer, but I think for now, yeah, I know I'm using the position of these objects for something, but let me double check how I'm using that position, so that I can convert that without accidentally breaking everything. What do I call those things? Avail buttons? No. Oh, UIBG slots. So UIBG slots. Yeah, I'm just using their local position. So if I just instead make note of their local positions, then I can use I can move the objects and et cetera, et cetera. So what is that long print? Oh right, yeah. Okay. Just a reminder to myself. I guess I could put that in my list of things to do. So like sack a mob if no room for ally. Also for hero. That way I don't have to use comments in my file here to to remember things. So all right, UIBG slots. Um, and then the positions I'm going to call public vector 3. I have UI positions, right? I just have like vector 3. I should have like a public vector 3 for slots pause. So I guess BG slots pause will be this one. I mean, I guess I could just extend the other one, add 3 more, but those are in they're in different, the local, they're all local positions, but they mean different things, because they have different parents. So I'll just have this as something different. Equals new vector 3 3. Hooray! Save that, and then I also want to change the name of this. UIBG slots. UIBG slots. Maybe that's fine for now. I guess. Oh, I don't like renaming things because when you rename public. What? Oh, did I forget? Yeah. When you rename things, they get unset. Kind of a minor thing, but I don't know. It's enough that I'm not super fond of it. Alright, so HPMP is not one of them. We just need pow0 through 2. So 0.9, negative 2.8. Oh. Wait, those are probably the same coordinates. Yeah, they are. They're the same coordinates. And so, yeah, they're the same coordinates, but they're parented to something different. And so they feel like different coordinates. Alright, so I guess I don't actually need this new thing. I can just use the same calculations of the other slots. And I'll just have to remember to keep that true. So what do I want to do with these shadows now? Oh, well, actually, yeah, let's make that change that we just said we could make. Specifically, let's get rid of that thing we just thought we needed, but realized we don't need. And what was it? It was UIBG slots. Oops, BG slots. Right, so we don't need to use that anymore. We can just do was it slots pause? Slots pause, yeah. Slots pause 0 through 2. Which should also be SI, right? Probably. Yeah. Yerp. I'm going to change my color scheme so I can still see my cursor when I'm finding things. Slots pause. Is that the only place I was using UIBG slots? Alright, but that's still true. We still want it. Actually, no, I guess we don't want it to go away anymore. Or else we do and we want it to come back. I don't know. I'm going to assume we don't want it to go away yet. Because I guess they're just going to be static elements now. And we're going to recess them slightly further, so that way... there's going to be like... This is going to... Alright, well, we have a weird hierarchy, but whatever. So, UIBG... I guess... UIBG... shadow, I'll just call... I don't know. So yeah, the whole point of it is just to be parented to this, and then is this right? I think so. Should we parent it to, what are your coordinates? Yeah. Maybe we should actually just parent it here instead. And then it has like the same, but yeah, so then what are we going to do? We're going to just we're just going to recess it slightly further. So instead of like 54 and 81, let's go, oh, actually, before I change it, I should move these guys over here. And you all stayed the same, right? Yeah, you're still good. And then so right, 54 is 27. 54 plus 27 is 81. Hey, look at that. That's 81. Half of 81 is wait, 81? Really? Oh, is this? Oh, wait. This was a. Sorry, when we set these up, we were just going by like we had a unit, which is I think a third of this actually, not half of this. 81 divided by 3. What's 81 divided by 3? Is that divides cleanly, right? It's like 81 divided by 3. It's like, what, 17? No. 27. 27, I think. I'm just gonna bust out a calculator. I don't like arithmetic. I mean, I like it. I just don't like doing it. Alright, so, sorry. Please pardon the delay. 81 divided by 3. Yeah, it just takes me too long. And then 54 divided by 3. 18. Alright, so times 4 equals 72. So let's change this to 72. What? Oh no, the other one. Change the other one to 72. Change this to 0.72. And then 81 we decided was 27 when divided by 3, so what's 27 times 4? I mean, alright, okay. Whoa, cool numbers. Cool numbers, bro. From 081 to 108. 108. 108. What? Oh no, 1.108. Tab 1.108. Alright. So now it looks like they haven't moved, but they're slightly recessed, so now we don't have to make them invisible to make them, they're actually still back there. So now when we make this icon really super tiny, it will still have that backdrop to it. And hopefully that will give enough of an indication for now about the status of the abilities cooldown. So now we need to resize the I'm pretty sure about that, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, and actually I guess we don't even really need a concept of those objects anymore because we're like never referring to them. So yeah, sure. Those are these guys here. Yep. Save that. So what else? The size of the power icons. So this will be processed first on activation, because as soon as you activate it, its cooldown is go, and we'll want it to be super small. But we'll also want to update it regularly, so that way it grows back to full size, to let the player know when they can expect to use it again. So for hours in general, right, we set up, one of the last things we did in order to implement the cooldown was to set up pow3. So let's think about pow3 and what it means. Okay, so yeah, actually let's look at what pow3 means, what we've decided it means. Pow3. Alright, so yeah, pow3, pow type, slot pow, you got it first. Awesome. Equals time dot fixed update plus pow speed, because speed is actually the cooldown, which I should probably change at this point, but I don't know, a 3-letter abbreviation for cooldown is my rationale, apparently. I don't know. So instead of worrying about that, how about I mean, I guess here we can just say what is it? We want the button. We want the. So wait, here in this case, do we know the slot, and we want the button? Because that, yeah, we can do. Wait, no, not yet. So is it? It's pow buttons. This pow button. Dot scale, I guess. It's a good thing we can't drag powers around on the bar, because that'll be slightly odd when they're on cooldown and you're dragging them around. I guess you'll want them to pop back to full size, and then I guess that's not too hard. We'll just make sure that their cooldown size doesn't update while they're dragging, and we don't have that feature yet, so we really don't have to worry about it yet. Alright, so pow buttons. So I guess we'll just say dot transform dot scale, local scale, I guess, equals what is it equals? 0.2. Oh, scale's a vector 3, right? I think it's vector 3. So new vector 3 0.2f, 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 and we'll probably want to tune that. Yeah. So let's say this is cooldown CD scale 0. No, just that. There we go. Alright, so yeah, when you activate the button, when you activate the power, the button shrinks down to CD scale 0, which is not a thing yet. So let's make it a thing. Pow button, slot pow, UIBG. Yeah, this is about where this goes. So float, public float, hooray. What do we call it? CD scale. I should change that name, probably. Yeah. Maybe a UI CD scale or something like that. Okay. CD scale equals new float 2. One for the scale that it starts at, and one for the scale that it ends at. I'm thinking it'll probably be like 20% to 80%, or like 20% to 90%, or somewhere thereabouts. But I'll probably want to change it at least a little bit. And I also decided that this should be called UI CD scale, because CD scale sounds more like the modifier we have for speed bonuses. So yeah. So now it'll get small when we activate it, but we also need it to gradually get bigger. So how did we set this up? We have it set up so that if pow time is less than time.fixed time, then the button's good to go. So in order to calculate the size we want it to be, let's say if this is happening on GUI, so maybe we don't actually even want to do this here. Maybe we just want the button we just want the activatability to process on GUI, and we can do all of the scale changes on fixed update, probably. Yeah, I think probably. Let's see. Let's find out. So comment that out. We might want it again, but for now, let's not worry. So fixed update. Where are you? Here we are. I guess we'll just add you in on the top, right? Unavail buttons. Yeah, that's an unrelated system, so it doesn't really matter how this happens with relation to that happening. Huh. I don't think we actually need this out here. I think we can move that in there, but I guess it doesn't make a huge difference. I'm gonna try it though, just real quick, because I'm pretty sure I only moved it out here when I was trying to figure out why something wasn't working. So let's this is the part where when you use the button off the top row, when you drag a button off the top row, everything slides down to the left. Specifically, the thing we just moved is what will they're really only ever 5 buttons at a time, but like hypothetically they extend far off the screen because we've let them stack up for so long. So when I drop this down here, not only should everything slide to the left, but this 5th slot on the far right, the one that's only just peeking in from the side, that should remain full, which does. Alright, so that's probably fine. I don't know, I guess I just had like a little I don't know, it was weird to set up in the first place. What? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Huh. Maybe I should make, I think for drag and drop, maybe the targets, maybe the target should be bigger, because like, I don't know, that almost seems like it should drop correctly onto this square, but technically since my mouse isn't over the square, it's not going to drop correctly, so yeah, I'll probably want to tune that at some point too. To the backlog. Hero, widen UI slot drop zones. So right, so that seems good, and then that was unrelated though. What we actually want to do here is, for int I equals 0, I less than what? I guess we could just go by like how many powers we have, because we don't have to worry about powers we don't have, and then pow gain count, I believe, is that counter. So for for I is less than pow game count I plus plus. So for each of the powers, which there will be none for starters, but for each power, let's say, alright, so I guess it makes more sense to go from slot to button, because going from button to slot is weirder. So start, but if we go by slot, then we can't go by pow game count, because you can put buttons in whatever slot you want. It's not necessarily going to, like, the first one's not necessarily going to show up in slot 0. So I guess we'll just not use pow game count. Yeah, we'll just not use pow game count. So less than 3, because there are 3 powers. So I guess actually I could just say pow time dot length. So what are we going to do? For each of these powers, we're going to check its pow time and compare that to the current time, and set its scale relative to those sizes. So if let's say if I don't know why you're over there. No. If what are we going? We're going to pow buttons now, right? Buttons. Because we don't care about the slots. It doesn't matter where they're located, because we're not affecting like position or anything. We're only affecting scale. So okay, so pow buttons I dot transform dot local scale dot x. Can you do that? Yeah. Not equals 1. Oh, but quaternions. And so less than 1. Less than 1. And pow time I think pow time is associated to buttons and not slots, but let me double check. Yeah, I'm almost certain it is. No, it's associated directly to type. Although now that I think about it, type isn't. Oh, type could be material, because I was thinking one thing that I haven't done yet but was considering doing is to change the way powers are gained, such that you hypothetically might get the powers in a different order. So yeah, I guess it's better to go with pow type. So pow buttons. But I guess, I mean, as long as I stick with I, then no. So yeah, right. So yeah, let's check how time is set. Which was where we were just a moment ago. So pow time is set, right? No, yeah, it's set by pow type. I didn't know that. So I guess we'll iterate by slot, I guess. So slot pow type, I guess. No, I'll I'll do what seems like an easier way, and then if there's a reason that this is not going to work, then I guess we'll find out. Yeah, we're going by pow type. I in this case is pow type. Let's say, and let's go with that because I think that'll be simpler. So I guess actually we don't want to go by pow time. We want to go by pow type. At least just as a reminder of what is I in this case. So pow of time I is less than, no, if it's greater than, wait, yeah, less than, because we're checking if it's ready. We're checking if the scale is not 1, but it's ready to go, then we want to set the scale to 1. That'll be the first thing we look for. So if actually, I guess we only want to do really any of this stuff if the local scale is less than 1, because once the local scale gets to 1, then we can just... No, we didn't. Right. We didn't include the on-GUI shrinkage, so we also want to process shrinkage here, not just growth. Do we? I don't know. Maybe we don't. Oh, yeah, and for one thing, we only want to do this for, alright, so yeah, so we're going with pow type. Are we? Yeah, yes, yeah, yes. Sorry, this the way I set up powers and buttons and available buttons and available buttons and power buttons and stuff is slightly confusing. So I'm just thinking about what given the slightly confusing setup, how's the best way to go about this? So I think okay. So if first things first, if pow buttons, it's pow buttons. Pow buttons I is not necessarily the same as. Alright, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna... see how the simplest, or one of the simpler forms works, and then adjust accordingly. So, right, so pow buttons dot, if pow buttons I not equals null is, I guess, the first thing we want to look for, because if this button doesn't even exist yet, then we can stop worrying about how big it is. So then, yeah, let's not worry about local scale, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, let's just say pow time is less than fixed time, or time.fixed time. Time.fixed time, then scale pow buttons. Are you supposed to be further indented? Probably. I like that, maybe. Oh, you're not supposed. Okay, yeah, no, that's what. Okay, that was what it was. All right. Anyways, pow buttons. Dot transform dot local scale equals new vector. Whatever. Okay. New vector 3. 1, 1, 1. Full scale. And then if that's not the case, else pow buttons transform local scale equals new vector 3 I'm just gonna look at transform for a moment. I don't like I don't 100% like what we're doing with new vectors here. Unity script C# transform. Oops, I misspelled transform. Local scale. Yep, you sure are vector 3. Be nice if I could just scale things without having to use vectors. Like just be like scale equals 2 and have it scale uniformly. But whatever. I'll do it this way. And then I'm probably gonna change this to the other thing. I'm probably only gonna worry about growth and not worry about shrinkage, because at least that will be less offensive to my sensibilities, my delicate sensibilities. Alright, actually, yeah, before we do that, first let's decide what scale it should be. So float SCL equals what? It's time dot fixed time as part of the equation. The other part of the equation is pow time. So in this case we know that pow time is greater than time dot fixed time. So pow time, we can subtract fixed time from pow time. But that's not actually what we want our scale to be. We actually want our scale to be relative to the total cooldown. So that is this is the difference between when the power will be ready and what time it is currently. And so let's divide this by the speed of the power itself, which is actually the period of the power. I just haven't changed it. Pow speed I. So I'm just gonna. This isn't correct either, but I'm just gonna check. I'm just gonna end that statement for a moment incorrectly to look at how time and the other pow things are used relative to each other in GUI, in non-GUI. So, all right. So that's the case of UI pressed. So UI pressed, pow act, pow time, pow take, UI pressed. Pow type is if I want the button based on the slot. So pow time, pow act, pow speed. Alright. I mean, I use pow speed and pow time and comparable, but are with the same indices. So yeah, I'm probably doing it right. I'll tell myself until running the title proves otherwise. So then, right. So this would make it so that the button would actually shrink. If we use the scale, the button would actually shrink as time goes on. So we actually want to do 1 minus this. 1 minus. So now the button grows, but we also decided that we didn't actually want. We don't actually want it to go from like 0 scale to scale of 1. We wanted it to go from those floats that we didn't actually even set up yet. Hold on, before I forget, I'm gonna put values into those floats so that when things don't work later on, I'll know why. Wait, what? Oh, oops. Wow, I left the script in a state, huh? Oh, what? Wait, what? Why are you complaining about this? Oh, because I left this open. Haha, probably. That would probably screw a few things up, right? Okay, so, oh yeah, this is going to be ultimately... Alright, so now I'm going to leave the script in that state, which is not correct, but hopefully less errorful. Okay, and then I'm going to set those, what was it? What was it called? UI cooldown scale. So yeah, it's going to start at, for now, let's say 0.2 to 0.8. I actually think 0.9 is probably going to be closer, because we want it to have a visible pop at the end, but we also want the size to be relatively indicative of like the amount of time left in the cooldown. So maybe 0.2 is too high. I don't know. We'll see how that looks before. Oops, wrong button. We'll see how that looks before bothering to get too hung up on how it might get tuned later. So let's factor those things in here so that we can get the results we're looking for. So it's actually going to be 1 minus what? Well, so the range on this is actually so the range on this is actually going to be not 1 to not 0 to 1, but so let's multiply this by UI CD scale 1 minus UI CD scale 0. So that's our range of the cooldown scale. So like with our current values at like 2 and 0.2 and 0.9, it'll be like a range of 0.7. And so now the overall progress will be on the correct range. It will always scale across that range of like 0.7 or whatever it ends up being. And then so then we can subtract. I guess we never actually have to worry about 1. Yeah, earlier we were subtracting from 1, but we don't actually have to worry about that. We can just subtract it from, so UI CD scale, we can just say UI CD scale 1 minus all of this. Probably. That could work, maybe. Let's find out. And can we find out? I think we might be all set to find out now. Alright, let's see what horrible things happen now that we've made all of those changes. So here is one of our powers. We can put it here. We can use it. Look at that. And it even has a little satisfying pop at the end. Hey, how about that? Oh, but we also put it in slot 0. So let's see what happens if we put dash over here. All right, well that also seemed to work actually. So maybe everything's totally good and fine and fantastic, and it all just works. Oh, I think I'm actually gonna put it closer to like 0.8, just because when it gets up to like even when it gets close to 0.9, it almost looks like it might be usable again, and I want to make sure that pop at the end is like if the cooldown's not finished, I don't want it to be confusable as potentially finished. So like it's like when like if I wasn't looking at that part of the screen right now and like glanced back at it, I don't want there to be a point at which I might be confused as to whether I can use it or not. See, it's still really big, even at 0.8. So yeah, I mean we might even want to drop it lower than 0.8, like maybe like 0.75 or something. But yeah, well let's see what 0.75 looks like, and then I'm thinking again like I don't think we really need to spend too much time worrying about this, but let's at least get it, hopefully, to replace that. Yeah, alright, this seems, I like that enough. Enough to not worry as much about it until we get, like, better UI art. I swear I'm gonna come up with, like, icons for those things at some point. I swear, totally gonna do it. I mean, I guess that's one thing we could do today. But, actually, I don't know, that might not be a bad idea. A while back, way before I changed, like, everything, like, 500 times over, I doodled, some potential icons for, like, some of the stuff, and some of these might still be usable. Or, like, I mean, not usable, but, like, some of these are, like, not actually finished art or anything, but, like, some of these concepts might still be usable. Like, oh, this one, like, I guess, yeah, we have this one that kind of looks like a thump on the ground, and I guess that kind of is now fairly analogous to strength, because, like, strength is, like, the impact of, like, how high things get tossed in the air. So that kind of makes sense. Are seeker missiles not... That's not really a thing that we're doing so much, so that one's probably useless. Just the general, like, pop explosion type shape might be sufficient for bombs, because, like, that's basically what they are. I guess dash is kind of going to be an important one, because it's very distinct. Oh, you know what? Whatever iconography I come up with, I need to make sure that it's not confusable with pow3, so this might be another thing that we probably shouldn't worry about until we have pow3. Pow3 is what would hypothetically go in that slot. We have bombs and we have dash, but we have no clue what pow3 is even going to be. It's supposed to be like something fairly epic, so that like bombs are something you can use on like a regular basis. Dash is something you can use fairly frequently. And then pow3 is supposed to be like epic and like just like radically explosive and amazing, and no, I don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it's supposed to be, so yeah. Alright, so I won't worry about icons. I also like setting up the strategy elements of this game, or like setting up like the objectives, like the setting up what is essentially like the game rules themselves, not like the rules of like the simulation, but like what is, you know, the motivations of the character, I guess, and like the win condition essentially. That's fairly important. So I guess I'm fairly psyched about getting that set up, because it'll be a lot nicer to have at least a framework. I'll almost certainly have to change it, you know, adapt it, depending on how well the first version comes out, and so the sooner I have like that first draft in, the longer I'll have to think about what I like about the first draft and what I don't, and hopefully get it to something that works for the rest of the game systems that we've come up with so far. The gist, just to recap, end of day Thursday, I think the gist is that like you have a horde of cheese crackers. That, I mean, it's not important that they're cheese crackers. I've been calling them cheese crackers, but like you, basically you have a horde of like something. They might be cheese crackers, and sorry, and so these little green dudes are like raiding your cheese cracker storage facility, and so you don't have to like get rid of them in order to rescue your cheese crackers, but like if each time they grab a cheese cracker, you gotta like you gotta regulate a little bit, or else they'll escape with the cheese cracker, and then you'll have no cheese crackers. So I don't think I have to explain the severity of that situation. Hope, hopefully. I mean, people like cheese crackers. People don't like it when the little green circles steal their cheese crackers. So I think that'll be a relatable uh, narrative for this story. So yeah, so like yeah, the other thing, one of the things that's fairly boring about the simulation right now, is that the green circles are doing, or the green spheres are doing, basically nothing. They kind of gravitate towards you sometimes if you're near to them, but other than that, like the ones further than like whatever distance away, they just kind of hang out, and that's not very interesting. So far, they've only really been props for testing out how powers work, and yeah, we want them. I guess, yeah. I mean, as part of this process, we're basically going to instill them with motivation, and like just like much broader autonomy. So we get to hack around in our AI. Well, I guess actually, I mean, this is basically where we add in like AI. No, intelligence is too strong a word. Artificial. I don't know. It's not going to be super intelligent, but it's going to be what NPCs do. Right. So I guess for starters, in order to set up something like that, we'll need a pile of cheese crackers, or we'll need a. We might not actually want to represent all of the cheese crackers, because I'm thinking like it might be on the scale of like 100 cheese crackers that you have. So we might just want like a cheese cracker dispensary, and so like when the mobs get close to the dispensary, they get to take your cheese crackers, and then so you can like. I guess, yeah, because like there's no map under here. Like everything underneath the entire game field is just red, and I don't want to change that. For reasons that probably are not thoroughly valid, I I really just don't want to change that. So I don't want to worry. I don't want the players to have to worry too much about their relative map positioning during the game. Otherwise, it would become important for them to have like some sort of context cues as to like where they are at any given time and how they're translating. But as long as like the player always knows roughly where the cheese cracker dispensary is located, then they'll have like all the information that they need. Like hopefully they won't feel lost, and then they can just yeah, I'm hoping that they'll like by having that central like that location of central importance, then the player can basically use that as a frame of reference. I'm thinking, I guess if you travel too far away from it, or maybe when it's off camera, you'll want like a little indicator of like where the dispensary is located. But then, I mean, I guess you probably also want like, if you're not looking at the dispensary and like mobs sneak up from the other direction, you'll probably want like some way to know what some way to like some alert system, like I don't know, maybe there's like some sort of alarm. You've wired your cheese cracker dispensary with an alarm system so that you know because if that alarm goes off and you're not the one taking cheese crackers, you know something's up. So I'm probably going to represent the cheese crackers as little coins, and then I don't know what the dispenser will look like. Maybe I'll just use the tetrahedron that I made and like turn it with 1 point ascendant, and it'll just be that, I guess. I don't know. That's gonna be weird because like you don't want it to get. We'll want to set it up so that even when the hero is standing behind it, like even when it's between the hero and the camera, that it's still clear like what's up, what's going on. We'll also want to set up collision so that you don't clip through the dispensary, I guess. Or maybe it'll be like, yeah, you probably just don't want to get, like you want to get close to the dispensary, but you never want to like clip into it because that would be weird. I assume that would look weird. So yeah, dispensary happening. All right, so yeah, presently we're spawning mobs at like right around the origin, and actually the hero starts standing at like I think -5 or something. So just because like if this dispensary really is going to be central, I want it to be at the origin, just because. And so let's move where mobs spawn, I guess. Because actually I think overall we'll want to change how mobs spawn so that they can spawn from multiple locations. Or, I don't know, maybe... yeah, no, maybe it is... maybe we want the game to take place in, like, a lane. So that way you as long as you're looking, like, up or down the lane, you can basically see the entire map. And then you never really have to worry about having to like blitz across the map if mobs are escaping in like the other direction. So okay, so actually maybe instead of having the dispensary at the origin, what if we put it at like -10, and then we made mobs spawn at like +10 or something like that, and then we can have them just like traverse that field, and then like I don't know if we necessarily even need to put like I don't know if we even necessarily need to put like literal like boundaries on either side. It might just be like because like because mobs tend to travel from one side to the other and back, then the only real delimiter to how far they can travel in any other direction is how far they get like knocked around from like bombs and explosions and stuff like that. Maybe you'll have like a base like where you keep your cheese crackers, and maybe the mobs will also have a base of cheese crackers. So if your cheese crackers get lost, you can go back and steal their cheese crackers. You can steal them back. I don't know. We can worry about that later. But yeah. So tetrahedron. I don't know. What other shapes do I have? I don't feel like making a shape right now, so I'll just use the shapes that I already have, which means it'll probably be an upward pointing tetrahedron. Probably. What are the other options? Cylinder? No, the coins are going to be, or the crackers themselves are going to be small flat cylinders. So tetrahedron it is, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it would be kind of nice if it had a rounder base, because I should make a cone. A cone would be a helpful thing to have. I don't start with a cone, do I? Right? No. Someday I should make a cone. Then all my projects can feature like state-of-the-art cone technology. No. Right, because it'd be nice if it had a round base, and it'd be nice if it was pointed at the top. But I guess for now a tetrahedron is close enough. Probably. Whatevs. So yeah, what was my tetrahedron sits with like a an edge on the ground with like one of its yeah, and I want it to be point ascendant. The other tetrahedron that I'm using in the project is has like a surface ascendant, so it's like this guy here, like with a little arrow pointy thing at your desk marker. So yeah, what is the rotation value that I use on that? Because I'll want basically the opposite rotation value for the to have a point ascendant. Where is it? Dest marker. Rotation of. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, let's make a. I guess I'll just make a game object, create empty, I guess, and then add component mesh render. Is that how you get? No wait. How do you get a mesh on an object? Whatever. Hold on. I'll just make a. Instead of making that, I'll just make a cube, I guess. I mean, we don't need the box collider, but we needed that component, which I don't even know what it's called, I guess. Remove. Go away. Oh, no. Remove. How do I remove? Go away. Remove component. There we go. Okay. Alright, so yeah, let's use the tetrahedron instead of the cube. And let's rotate it in a way that we like. Oh, what are you doing underground? Still the cube. Or still the tetrahedron. Alright, I was thinking like probably -10. Maybe. Possibly. No, it'll probably be much further than that, but whatever, for starters. So yeah, what did I have as the rotation value? It was like, oh yeah, and actually, so this will be DETR, and then let's make an empty game object. So that we don't have to have weird rotation values on the, I'll just call this like home, I guess. Yeah. Base, maybe. I don't know. Right, so yeah, I don't have to have weird rotation values on the game objects itself. I'll borrow this rotation value, which seems to work out. Okay. Oh. Wait. Okay, and so, that was one of them? Alright, and the other one was 45. Huh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not even, those aren't even exact measurements, but that did seem to do it. So, if I want to flip this 180 degrees, then 45 plus 180 is like, what, 225? Hey, wait. How come it's still flat surface up, right? What does this one even do? Oh, interesting. Alright, so, yeah, no, I guess that's not necessarily what we need. So, alright, put that back to 45. What if I spin you? How do you, oh, right, yeah. Yeah, right, okay. Go back to 0. So, man, I guess I'll just have to eyeball it again, maybe. Or no, I could just be super lame and go like that, and then go add in another hierarchical game object. I don't know how expensive hierarchical game objects are. Hopefully not expensive is the answer. Hopefully. But I don't know. I've never really looked into that. But yeah, I can just like go 180, right? Yeah. Yep. I did it. And then I can rotate it. I guess I want it to be like, I think I want it to start like edge towards the camera, so -60, I guess. Seems to do that. And then we also want it to be taller, so let's put it at, let's put it Y scale at 2. Yeah, probably. I don't know. And then put its Y position to 0.5, I think, is how to get it to what? Nope, not 5, 0.5. 0.5. I think that's how you get it to like sit flush, quote unquote, on the ground. Oh. Now my tetrahedron seems to be of a slightly different scale than the other game objects, so like, I guess we don't need it to be, that does seem fairly big, so let's go like 1.8. It could be about right, or at least good enough. And then, so what does what does the base look like? I guess blue, maybe? No. Huh. I guess. I was thinking the cheese crackers might be like orangish, or like gold colored, I think. Green through purple. I feel like the green through purple range is going to be the coloration of the mobs, like green, blue, and purple. They start out mostly greenish, and then some of them have a blue tinge. I'll probably change that so that like there's less blue variation in their starting coloration. But then as they take damage, they'll turn slightly more purple, and so that way you'll have like some sort of visual indication of like what all is happening. The lighting on the repository is not super great yet. It picks up the hero's light pretty well, but other than that, it's pretty boring at this point. Maybe it'll just stay like a whitish color, I guess. I don't know. But it definitely needs better lighting. I forget if I put a light on top of dest. I know I was like, when I was setting up dest also looked, like the little thing on the cursor, it also looked really flat, so I was thinking of putting a light over it, but I don't think I did. I think I just brought up the color. So it's actually like it's technically like a really light pink right now. And then just the project's lighting setup was enough to make it visible like that. So, yeah, sure. Let's try that and see if we can get the desired effect just by lighting it differently. So what is it? Is that -10? I think is its position right now. Let's add a light. Point light probably. Oop. Point light. Let's put it at 0. I don't know, 3. -10. No, higher than 3. Oh wow, that reaches all the way up to 3. Such a region's big. Alright, so I think we'll want it to have slightly greater range than that, or slightly less fall off than that, I guess. So 15 maybe. Ew, that lights a lot of stuff. Let's see how the scene looks with a light as bright as that one. That might still be okay, I guess. I don't know. Ew, that's pretty bright. It's pretty bright. So maybe I want 3 much lighter lights and position them to like very clearly light those surfaces. Like, yeah. So yeah, put this back down to 10. And so what if you were here instead? Yeah, you light that surface way better when you're here. So now let's just have some friends. Lighting the other sides of the surface. Alright, yeah, that's bright. And it's not evenly lit, but it's well lit. And so now we can actually probably bring down the brightness now that we have as much light sources there. Oh yeah, we definitely need to, because like that's still way too much lighting for the little mobs and everything. It's so bright. so bright. So what if they were like, if they were more like a brightness and or an intensity of like 0.5? That might be more realistic or more reasonable. Realistic, I don't know. I'm definitely not going for realism with this project, but whatever. Why is the light being so like twitchy now? I feel like it's like clicking between some values rather than like blending smoothly. But maybe it's just still too high. If it was like 0.3, I mean that even might be sufficient because like it's very noticeable in the crowd. Although I still need the crowd to stop clipping through it, if it would kindly. Alright, so I guess oh yeah, right. And so I guess it does kind of occlude the hero a little bit sometimes, but not by much. And only if you position it just right. It's really easy to not accidentally get occluded by the tower, and also once we make it so that once we add like that you don't like clip into the tower, it'll also be harder to get occluded. So I guess we can just do that for now. Or well, okay, yeah. Let's reference it in what we're doing here. So we have Miles Eyes Dest public game object base. Did I call it home or base? I'm gonna call it base. I think I left it as home, but yeah, let's call it base. But base is not a word I'm allowed to use. All right, so home it is. All right, fine. Oh yeah, and those lights. I think we decided the intensity looked better, like at like 0.3 or something like that. And also we need to position them so that they're not just in weird positions. So yeah. Actually, yeah, let's parent these to home so that when I reposition it, they'll stay relatively in place. Let's, oh yeah, and then let's set home to be the home thing that we're now thinking about. Save that. I'm going to reposition the lights a little bit right now, just so that it doesn't irk me later. Alright, so like 4 seems to be about the right height. And then, so I think the point is like, I think this is centrally located. Like I think the center of the tetrahedron should be. Oh yeah, right. Oh, you think it might be like the center of the mass is like centered over the origin, so to position the lights to like the surface. I guess this doesn't have to be super precise or anything, but that's switch to 2D. Oh, it's the wrong D. Wish I could switch to 2D overhead just for a moment, but whatever. Yeah, this really doesn't have to be anything super special, so let's just call this, like, I don't know, negative 0.75. And then U, I guess, would also be 0.75. And then, what is this, 0.55, I guess? Negative 0.55. And then you would also be 5, I guess. And then you only have one coordinate, because you don't actually have an x coordinate, or your x coordinate is not moved. So yeah, just to get that a little bit closer, seems like, I don't know, 1 maybe, 1-ish, somewhere around there. Good enough. 4 now, I think. I could use more precise coordinates later if I felt like. Why is there like a flickery? I don't know what happening. I swear, I'm not making that up. It's like the light's flickering for some reason. Ugh. I don't care for that. You have a lot of light sources going on. Maybe I'm just like over budget on lighting, which is funny. Considering the end result of the lighting that I set up. Yeah, it definitely seems to do with I guess it has to do with the hero. The hero has like a little light on him, just because I prefer what it looks like when he has like a little light. Like he has a light right by his feet, just so like he's kind of like lit from below as well. I don't know, I just liked how that looked better than not having it. But this light seems to be having weird effects here. I guess like it's the weirdest when he like actually moves through the thing. So maybe it also is pretty weird if he moves around the thing. So, ugh, what are you doing? That is this weird. It's not like I have shadow. I don't have shadow. I don't have anything casting shadows. So it's not like. Yeah, no, that lighting just doesn't make sense. I feel like. But I'm not exactly an expert in like lighting systems, so I don't know. No shadows, yeah. Do all my lights have no shadows? Did I accidentally put shadows on one of my lights? I don't know. I don't think I would have put. I don't think I would have accidentally put shadows on anything. Maybe I should just make this a cylinder. Probably light easier. Let's see what it looks like as a cylinder. Instead, create other cylinder. Here. So yeah, what if you were? I forget how big you start. All right, so you start about 2 units tall. So let's make you like 1.5 in scale, I guess, and then bump you up by like what, like 0.75, I guess. Maybe that's fine. Wait, are you standing on the ground yet? I think you're still a little below ground. Yeah. So 0.8 maybe. Oh wait, I guess this is the time I can use 2D. Wait, where'd the hero go? Is he behind it? I don't know. Whatever. Alright, so yeah, what if we didn't have the point lights? Yeah, that's probably fine. I guess. I don't know. Seems, we'll see what it looks like when we move around the, see if there's, alright, I mean, yeah, it definitely gets affected by lighting, but that could be okay. Alright, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that hugely right now. Let's bump it up a bit. Let's get, yeah, just a little bit bigger, so it's like clearly, just so that, I want it not to read as like another entity, but as like a static structure. So I guess actually we could scale it out a little bit, maybe. So like, what if we put this to like... Oh, if I'm scaling the point lights, don't do that. Yeah, considering how poorly that was working, I'm confident in just getting rid of this, I think. I don't know. Maybe. I guess I'll just keep it for now and not worry about it. And then get rid of it once I'm sure that the cylinder isn't going to work that much better. So, yeah, let's scale you to like, I don't know, 1.5 maybe. 1.5. Yeah. Oh, you were behind it. So... Oh, alright. We'll just move it to 1. Seems to be the right height. Okay, so yeah, maybe that's fine. I guess. So yeah, now we have the cylinder, which we won't actually walk through, hopefully. Yeah, there are like striations up the side of the cylinder, which is fine, I guess. Yeah, other than that, I think it's good, actually. It's pretty good overall. Maybe I should make it the same color as Dest, because Dest is like the other thing that isn't really a thing. It's like the other non-entity in the game. So if I did that, yeah, that looks about right. Alright. So I guess it could be a stack of cheese crackers, and it could get gradually shorter as cheese crackers are taken from it. All right, let's stop things from clipping into it. So down at the end of fixed update. Alright, yeah, so here we have, so if mobs I oh, yeah, huh. There's a better way I could do this, but I guess I'm not going to worry about it just yet. Yeah. If mobs I dot transform dot position minus home dot transform dot position dot magnitude if that is yeah, if that's if that's less than 1, I guess. Then or actually, okay, let's say vector3 offset equals, or I'll do h underscore offset equals this. And so then if h underscore offset dot magnitude is greater than 1, then then mobs mobs I transform. So yeah, we want to. So if the mob is too close to home, then we'll want to just nudge it so that it's not anymore. So mobs I dot transform dot position plus equals h offset dot normalized. Times 1 minus h offset dot magnitude, I guess, because we know that magnitude is greater than 1. So I guess we only want to shove it. Oh wait, if its magnitude is less than 1, actually, is what we want to do. And so yeah. Right? Something like that. Actually, no, we don't have to do anything weird like that. We can just use h offset. What, or one. I don't know, let's see what this does. Yeah, we want to make sure that offset is greater than 1. So if it's less than 1, then we do stuff to compensate. Yep. Alright, so it clearly should be wider than 1, but that is otherwise correct. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. We also don't want it to accidentally z-translate things. Which I think I accidentally did. Yeah. Yeah, he's going underground. He's tunneling. Alright, yeah. So, what do I actually want this? Yeah, I want what then? Yeah, actually, okay, so h offset equals that, but h offset actually equals h offset I guess what? I guess, okay, so equals new vector 3 h offset x 0 h offset z yeah, so now we have now we don't have to worry about accidentally displacing on the y-axis because h offset no longer has a y component to it. And I think this will technically affect things that are like flying over the flying over the base, but hopefully that won't matter much. Oh, it doesn't affect things that are dashing. So if you dash near the base, let's see what happens. 1 minus. I guess, yeah, this can never be 0. Because we already know that h offset dot magnitude is less than 0, so it is less than 1. So yeah, let's go with that. See how it looks. Oh, I also, yeah, I should change the change that from 1 to a greater number so that we don't like rub up against it so closely, I guess. Oh yeah, and then check out how dash works. So instead of 1, let's call this 1.5, I guess. Because if there's like a slight buffer around it, that's fine. What? Oh. F. Always F. 1.5 F. 1.5 F. Save that. Alright, this seems better. 1.5 is too high. I guess I could just find out what the actual diameter, or the actual radius of that thing is. Cylinder. There's a scale of 1.5. So I would have guessed 0.75, but apparently that's not true. What is... How big are you, in fact? On start. Where is start? So home dot render. Oh, does home have render? Yeah, home dot render dot bounds. Bounds. I can type dot extents. Let's print that. See what we got. See what we're working with. So, oh yeah, there's no render attached to the main object. So, dot. Alright, well, yeah, whatever. We can get rid of these things because if we change our mind later, we can always. It didn't take us that long to set that up, and it took us even less time to realize that it was not what we wanted. There's construction going on next door. I apologize if that's too loud. I can close the window. I won't suffocate, not literally. So what were we doing? Oh yeah, printing out the. So okay. So it'll actually be home.transform get child 0. So we only have one child. Alright, let's see if that doesn't work. Hey, there we go. 0.8. 0.8 is said to be. Oh, right, because it's not just that. Okay, so. Okay, yeah, so it's actually going to be like 1.3, I guess, because it's going to be the diameter of this thing. Wait, what? Why is there that weird ring shape going on? Huh. Alright, well, that's weird. I guess because it's always. I guess because that translate is always calculated after the offset, so. That's just weird. But, I mean, I guess if mobs don't have that same flocking pattern, then it might not make as much of a difference. So... Right, oh yeah, so we have mob diameter. Tempted to just make the base a mob. Give it a type that just exempts it from like pretty much everything. No, but mobs translate each other. I can make it just a mob with like impossibly high weight. But then stuff would clip into it somewhat. It'll probably be fine. Diameter, mob's diameter. So float, home diameter equals, actually I guess I want home radius. How am I using mob diameter? Yeah, I am multiplying it by 2. Alright, so I guess I actually only want home radius. And we know it's 0.8, we know it's 0.8, but I'm also going to, in case I ever want to change it, I'm going to have home radius equals home transform, etc., dot extends dot x. Alright, which is basically the same thing. Home radius, which is basically the same thing we're doing with mob diameter. So now, instead of like trying to guess at what that value should be, we can just say it's equal to less than mob radius, mob singular radius divided by 2 plus home radius. Wait, there's no mob radius, it's mob diameter. Derp. Mob diameter divided by 2 plus home radius, and we'll do the same thing down here. Put those in parentheses. Well, I guess that doesn't actually matter, but whatever. Okay. Alright, now mob should stay a reasonable distance away from this thing. Sort of. They do get stuck behind it, because they're not smart enough to move around it. But these aren't going to be their flocking behaviors in the new system anyways, so probably don't have to care about that. Does it do powers? Oh yeah, I was going to see if dash got weird. Because it really could. Right? Yeah, let's see what dash does around this, because it could get really weird. So let's jack down the cooldown of dash to, like, I don't know, 0, I guess. Because I can break things if I have it at 0. No, that works. Yeah. Huh. Why is the hero thumping up against it when dashing? I thought we were only doing this in the case that... I thought we were only changing that in the case that things were not dashing. Like, the hero's dashing. If the hero is dashing, why would he stop moving when up against that? Dashing, dashing, doop, doop, doop. Oop, no moving. Alright, hold on. Dash, let's multiply it by, a lot. Like 5 is hopefully enough. Alright, and then set the destination over here, and then, alright, dash, 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 dash. Alright, well, I guess I could instead look at it and see why it would be operating strangely in order to figure out how to get it to stop operating strangely. So, yeah. So, I mean, mob's not equal null. Well, yeah, we know that this is evaluating, so why is it else? Oh, an I not equal 0. Why don't I want I to be equal 0 in that case? I don't know why we couldn't have the euro translate in that way. Are we... Yeah, I honestly I don't know what that's about. So I'm gonna get rid of it and see what happens. I mean, I kind of have a sense of what would have to happen. Here would have to translate twice as far because he's now getting affected by it twice. Oops. Or it just works fine still. Wait, why are you not? What? What? What happened to the cooldown special effects that we had going on? Oh. Yeah. Alright, my indexing does not support the case wherein you put the powers in another order, which is actually in the current system still a valid case, so I do have to fix that. Because it's definitely not going by power type, it's going just by whatever one you slap down. Okay, so, right. So, from button to no. No, pow type is based on the button, not based on the slot. So, to get pow type, we can just, sorry, this is not directly related, but, still pertinent, generally speaking. Alright, so, yeah, we're doing this at the start of fixed update. We actually, pow buttons, we actually want to go with, because that's the case we're in. Oh yeah, no, we're going by pow type, so let's just go pow type. Pow type I instead of just straight pow buttons I. So wait, returns the type based on the button? Yeah, I guess. No, wait, am I doing this backwards?